Guys, my name is Mike again, and I live right here in Lexington, Mississippi. I want to thank you again for joining me on the road with the SPRA. And this week, the SPRA road takes us across that Georgia line to Jasper, Georgia for your 11th annual Pickens County Pro Rodeo. Now, we went across that Georgia line and we met your reigning SPRA stock contractor of the year, the Southern Rodeo Company. They're that for a reason. I had the opportunity to visit with Mr. Robin Brooks today on the phone, on his birthday as a matter of fact, so happy birthday to you, Robin. We visited for a little while on the phone, and he says, Mike, I put a lot into these rodeos. I told him, I said, yeah, Mr. Robin, it shows. He said, but I run around like a chicken with my head cut off sometimes. I'm real busy right up until we crack the first latch at 8 o'clock. And after that, he said, I can take a breath. I can take a back seat because I have a crew that's absolutely second to none. These cowboys right here, they can run this whole rodeo from one end of the arena to the other, just click, 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 just as smooth as melted butter on a hot biscuit. So I'm going to tell you, the cowboys with the Southern Rodeo Company, absolutely second to none. My hat is off to all of you guys for everything you do for that company and for the SPRA. Boy, speaking of the Southern Rodeo Company and everything they do above and beyond, they also recruited the funny man, Mr. Colt Hart, again this weekend. Colt is so dang funny. I mean, I've never had the opportunity to work with him, but when he just walks across the arena, from his body language to the way he carries himself to facial expressions to, Lord knows, they ought to call him Wonder Boy because you need to wonder what's going to come out of his mouth next. He just keeps you laughing from the time you get there to the time you leave. As a matter of fact, he mentioned phenomenal rodeo announcer Tyler Brown that was there this weekend, and the incomparable Mr. Rick Ward that was behind the tunes over there running the sound. He said working with those two guys was just like peanut butter and jelly. Who brings up an analogy like that? Tyler, I've heard a lot this weekend. A phenomenal job as always. Rick Ward, right on point with the tunes as always for you as well. Man, I'm going to tell you, we talk about that Southern Rodeo crew. Now, there are two guys there that do a lot of work on horseback. I like to call them the two hardest working men on horseback, or either maybe our rodeo rescuers. You see, they're our pickup men. They pick the cowboys up off the back of the big, bad, snorty Southern Rodeo Company broncs. They put them down on our little patch of dirt, safe and sound. 2019, I know this cowboy picked up the SPFR. Josh Brooks is, boy, he knows his job. And every week, week after week, he's joined there with Dennis Morris to team up for a pickup duo that is absolutely just awesome. That's the only way I can describe them. And speaking about pickup men, let's get right into the bareback riding and put them to work. Now, the bareback riding earned my man Cody Warnick 71 points, the top 5 cowboy in the world standings right now with the SPRA. He got him a second place check with that 71-point ride. And then Mr. Josh Krager comes in there. Boy, Josh just leans back, points his hat to the sky, and just puts the heels of those Durango boots there from the Cowboy Shop in Roopville, Georgia, over the front shoulders of that Southern Rodeo Company bronc. He comes out, his feet are coming back, his chaps are flopping, they're popping. And boy, when they tallied up the scores at the end, he gathered up 76.5 points to cinch up the win there in the bareback. Congratulations to you, Josh, on your win. And Cody Warnick, congratulations to you on pulling another check this week at a Southern Rodeo Company rodeo. Then we go to the classic event of rodeo, the saddle blanc riding. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you heard me talk about this cowboy from over at Alex City. He won that rodeo as well. Cottondale, Florida's own Joe Farron. Son, he makes it look so easy. For him, it's just like another day at the office, but, he gets it done week after week. Right now, he's currently sitting in that number one pole position in the SPRA World Standings. There's a reason for that. Bo Waller, Hal Roberts, two amazing judges. They had their work cut out for them, but they teamed up together. They tallied up the scores. 83 points on that Ag Pro John Deere board there to captivate the win in the Saddle Bronc. Congratulations, Joe Farron. Great job, brother. Keep it up. Next, we go down to the tie-down calf roping. In the third place win there, the cowboy hails from the Magnolia State right here. I've had the opportunity to introduce Bart Brunson to thousands and thousands of rodeo fans over the years. He is always right there in those top standings. As a matter of fact, right now, the Cowboys sitting top 5 in the SPRA World Standings. He comes in there, flanks one down, ties it up, 8.7 seconds to go to the paycheck window for a third place check. Then we go to the second place win. Two Cowboys coming there with an exact identical time. It got salty. When I say salty, that means really quick. Saltier than the used ice cream maker salty. 8.2 seconds to split that second place win with Marcus Terrio and Zeb Chapman. Those two Cowboys consistently year after year after year, always in the top leaderboard as well. And then you go to the man that really meant business. Mr. Corey Barraclough. Man, talk about a name in tie-down roping. I don't care if you go to Miami, Florida, or Bemidji, Minnesota, or Atlanta, Georgia, or Fort Worth, Texas. If you mention tie-down calf roping and you mention Corey Barraclough, son, they're going to say, that cowboy means business. He came in there 7.9 seconds to tie up the win there in the tie-down calf roping. That rolled us right on down to the Pretty Cowgirls and the Cowgirl Breakaway roping. In third place, you heard me talk about this cowgirl over in Alex City as well. She was 2.8 over in Alex City just a few weeks ago to get her a third place check. She makes her way over to Jasper, Georgia to the 11th annual Pickens County Pro Rodeo. Miss Bethany Stallions, wow, 2.5 seconds for that cowgirl. So consistent, takes her there to the pay window, picks her up a third place check. It's probably going to inch that cowgirl right there to maybe the top 10 in the world standings right now. Congratulations to you for being so consistent, Bethany. And then one of my faves, I'm not going to lie, she is one of my faves. She hails from Calera, Alabama. Miss Rhonda Ellison. Talk about consistent week after week after week. I say she's a vet square. That's because she is a veterinarian and she's also a veteran. She defends our freedoms in the United States Air Force day in and day out. Our hat is always off to that cowgirl. 2.4 seconds is what she stops that John Deere clock in to get some second place money for her. And then Ms. Heather McLaughlin comes in there. Boy, elbow up, tip down, gets the rope around the calf's neck, bell collar loop, just picture perfect. That Schottenkirk Ford clock said 2.3 seconds when the rope said pop to win the Jasper, Georgia 11th annual Pickens County Pro Rodeo. 2.3 seconds cinches up Heather McLaughlin for the first place win. On to the big man's event, steer wrestling. Now, this cowboy here, he backs there in that Ford parking spot. He nods that American hat there from the cowboy shop and shoots out like a bullet from a gun. He goes from 0 to 30 miles an hour in only 3 strides. The American Quarter Horse is the most versatile four-legged athlete in the world. Cody Miller was a jockey on the back of that horse. Son, 4.7 seconds to take the Ag Pro John Deere victory lap. Son, Ag Pro John Deere did so much for this rodeo. They gave them equipment to work the grounds, equipment to clip the outside of the arena and get everything nice and neat. They even gave them like a John Deere Gator or some type of John Deere side-by-side. The Southern Rodeo Company gave everybody victory laps after each event. Thank you so much to Ag Pro John Deere right there in Jasper for everything that they did for this rodeo. And congratulations to Cody Miller for your 4.7 second steer wrestling win. Now that takes us to an event that I think I probably love the most. And I love it so much because you have two people that creates one time. Your Dally team roping, the dynamic duos of team roping. But in those duos, you'll have grandmothers and grandsons roping together, grandfathers and granddaughters. Talk about a family event. It's a great family event in the Western way of life. Anybody can get into it. They have a roping with any level, anywhere, for anybody, most every weekend. In this event in rodeo, more money changes hands in the event of team roping than any other event in the Western way of life. And I'm going to tell you, Marcus Terrio and Chase Graves, those two cowboys from the Magnolia State over here in Poplarville, Mississippi, they've been roping together probably since they came out of the womb. These cowboys have gone all the way up from the junior ranks to the high school ranks through the college ranks and just do a phenomenal job. 4.5 seconds gets them that third place check. But then, talk about a tough team. Kevin Daniel and Morgan Jones, wow. Those cowboys can do it. They said, no, we're not going to let 4.5 beat us. We'll come in there and we'll just give them a 4.4. We'll take us home a little second place money. But this is what I was talking about to begin with. How family members get to rope together. Now, when a father and son team win a rodeo, it's not just winning a rodeo. It's something special. This team right here, this duo, the Culpepper boys, Braxton Culpepper on the head side. This young cowboy, I think, had won 2 or 3. I know several trucks. He won several trucks before he ever got his driver's license. Now, he's since gotten his driver's license several years ago, and he has just matured into such a great young header. He's heeling for his dad, Brad Culpepper. Brad's been around rodeo for a gazillion years, probably one of the most decorated heelers in professional rodeo anywhere in the United States of America. 4.2 seconds for the father-son duo to topple over everybody and claim that victory lap in our 11th annual Pickens County Pro Rodeo. Congratulations to all you guys in the team roping. That took us to the Pretty Cowgirls and Lightning Fast American Quarter Horses. In third place, this cowgirl is currently sitting number 2 in the SPRA World Standings. The little horse that she's riding, so proud of this horse. I've had the opportunity to visit with her on the road with the SPRA after a couple of her wins. Everything that this horse knows, everything this horse has done, this cowgirl has put in the dedication and determination to train this horse herself. And Miss Lauren Pringle, son, she's no slouch. Back in February, early February, at the 2019 SPFR, she comes in there on this same horse and wins every single round to cinch up the average championship there with the SPFR. She comes into Jasper, Georgia, gets around 3 cans in 13.89 and 0 to take her to the pay window on that third place win. Then we go over to Ranger, Georgia. Boy, Miss Julie Thomas, this is a cowgirl. She's a wife. She's a mama. She's one heck of a turner and a burner. And that horse she's got that she calls Amos, boy, that's one of my favorite horses going up and down the road today. 13.80 and 0 to get them some second place money there in the Cowgirl Barrel Racing. And then Miss Tacey Matthews comes in there, makes short work of 3 cans on the cloverleaf pattern, stops the clock with a 13.766 to grasp that first place win in the barrel racing. Congratulations, Tacey, Julie, and Lauren, for everything that you accomplished there in Jasper, Georgia. Last and certainly not least, you hear me say it all the time, it's the one that all the fans wait on, Big Bad Bucking Bovines. Bull riding. Now, in the bull riding, everybody focuses on that bull rider, the one that tries to hang on to that beast for 8 seconds. And the ones that go overlooked so many times are the cowboys that are there to save the bull hand. I'm talking about our bullfighters. Some people call them bullfighters. I like to call them our guardian angel. The cowboy protectors They don't come any finer than Jeremy Cohen and Shane Esco. Talk about a team that just clicks together and works. They fit together like that, son. I mean, they just work so well together. And here's a little tip of the resistance to those Cowboys that put their lives on the line every time a big bad bucking bovine blows out of a chute. This week, 79 championship points to prevail in the bull riding goes to Mr. Lane Ladner. He rounds us out here at the 11th Annual Pickens County Pro Rodeo with 79 John Deere championship points there in the bull riding. Boy, that's how it all shook out there in Jasper, Georgia with the Southern Rodeo Company. But you've heard me talk about John Deere. You've heard me talk about Ag Pro of Jasper. I haven't had the opportunity to introduce you to Mr. Kevin Bagley, though. And Kevin Bagley is over there day in and day out on Shelby Lane, right there at Ag Pro of Jasper. It doesn't matter if you need something to cut your grass, if you need something to work your garden. It's food plot time at the deer camps. You want to put your food plots in, he's got a package tailor-made just for you. Or whether you have a huge ranch or huge farm, boy, you can paint your farm or ranch green with John Deere and Ag Pro of Jasper right there in Jasper, Georgia. Then, boy, talk about some folks that stepped up to the plate. Schottenkirk Ford right there in Jasper. They're over there on Highway 515 South in Jasper. You can't miss them. The big oval-shaped Ford sign up there. They had all the pretty vehicles stacked up like cordwood there at the rodeo. You can walk by and pet the vehicles. You can sit on them. If you talk real nice, you might get to take one for a test drive, because I guarantee you those Ford vehicles weren't just for pretty looking at. They were for sale. Now, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you're in the market for a Ford, I'd encourage you to make that short trip over to Jasper, Georgia. See the good people at Schottenkirk Ford. You know, if you're passing through and it's early in the morning, late in the afternoon, you just need to pick me up. Go over there and look at what they have. Sit down and have a cup of coffee with them. Tell them you heard about them from the Southern Rodeo Company, the SPRA, and Mac Ginn with On the Road with the SPRA. They Schottenkirk Ford. Now, those were the two main sponsors there with the rodeo. You know, each week we get to bring you On the Road with the SPRA. You know, I recently saw something on one of my favorite shows there, Yellowstone. The little girl on there goes, you know, cheap stuff ain't cool and cool stuff ain't cheap, or something like that. And I'm telling you, this right here, we put a lot of work into this, and the people that are footing the bill to bring you all the action each week, a recap of everything, all of the interviews with stock contractors and bullfighters and pickup men that'll be coming up, and contestants, are people like our friend Miss Sherry Wilkins at the Cowboy Shop. You heard me talk about those American hats. You heard me talk about those Durango boots. They have so much more over there in Rookville, Georgia. My man, Mr. Greg Norrie, he's affiliated with Alpha Insurance. Son, Alpha Insurance does have you covered 10 ways to Sunday. Dixie Mule and Company. You're looking for a trailer? Make your first stop, the Dixie Mule and Company. Just tell them you heard about them here on the road with the SPRA. And I'm going to tell you, in the Merrill racing world, if you want to go from competing to winning, Miss Angela Hudson, www.magnoliabarrelhorses.com. Son, they have it going on. Just click, 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 week after week after week, always in the money. Then the Green family. Mr. Don Green and all of his family over there at the Roanoke Stockyards, they have an 11 o'clock sale every Wednesday. And last and certainly not least, in Anniston, Alabama, Pickett's Feed and Seed, also a division over there in Oxford, Alabama. 2 locations to better serve you. Like I said, it's food plot time. All you deer hunters, go over there. If you're in that part of Alabama, if it's just a short drive for you, get your feed, get your seed, get everything from them, your fertilizer, and tell them you heard about them right here on the road with the SPRA, because none of this would be possible without those guys. Once again, guys, great job to the Southern Rodeo Company and Mr. Robin Brooks and the whole entire crew for everything that they do. And another great rodeo in Jasper, Georgia. My name is Mac Ginn. I live right here in Lexington, Mississippi. Join me next week on the road with the SBRA. Y'all come see me.